Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 30 years collective experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. I'm Clare Whalley. We also have
Darren Langley,
Kate Curry,
Pete Morgan.
Fabulous. So today, people, we are talking about, and I'm laughing already, a good work-life balance in business. Does it exist? And before we dive in, I just want to tell our lovely listeners that we've all just had like perhaps 5 or so minutes just having a bit of a rant. About how stressed we are. So this seems perfect today. So you've got 4 business owners who are actually quite stressed about things.
Yeah.
So before we start, guys, I think this is a work-life balance is a really worn-out phrase. And these phrases, because they're used so often lose their meaning. So let's talk about, first of all, what does work-life balance mean to you, Darren?
it means, it's a very simple equation actually. It's 90% work, 10% life. And that's it. No, obviously, I mean, having a work-life balance, to me, it means, being able to juggle all the busy stuff with the stuff that's also busy but is your personal life, and balancing it.
Juggling
without losing
busy,
the plot.
personal and professional.
Yes.
And balancing it. Okay.
And also trying to find some time to relax.
Okay.
So, if that's...
Because I think the thing that comes in there, because I think the contentious word is the word balance, because I think that differs for all of us.
Yes, I agree.
For some, it's like, I'll want to work 3 days a week or 4 days a week, which I know we've talked about in the past, and the other 3 days are for my life away from work. Whereas for some of us, it's like, I want to fill those 5 days as much as I can with work, and then those 2 days are untouchable. They are life.
Okay.
And I think that's, because I tend to be, as much as I do try and do 4 days a week, I tend to lean more towards fill those 5 days, but the Saturday and the Sunday, we don't touch them.
Yeah.
That's the balance, and a couple of evenings in there as well.
Yeah. So to me, it's about being content in my professional life, as content as I am in my personal life, and having it all in equal measures. And for me, it is a balance.
Yeah.
Because it's always been tipped, isn't it? Sometimes you're busier at work, sometimes you're busier in your personal life. So it is about finding, equal measures of contentedness. Is that a word?
Yes.
Contentedness
It is now.
in both of those areas. Kate, what's work-life balance mean to you? It's not a great start.
I don't know how to answer that really succinctly. I think for me, I find it like the edges really blur for me, because I love working, and there's times where I might be sat in the evening with my laptop and my husband will be like, "How long are you working for?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not working." I'm like, "Well, what are you doing then?" I'm like, "Well, I'm writing a blog." He's like, "Well, that's working."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh no, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. It's like, it's not working. It's fun." And so sometimes I feel a bit like, the edges really blur for me. But like the whole work-life balance thing, I think we kind of, like, things like that shifted a bit during COVID, didn't they? Where we're all so much more aware that we have our professional side,
Yeah.
our work side, and then we have our like personal life and the things we do outside of that. But it's not black and white anymore, and for me, everything is one big murky soup. I try
Not
really.
the murky soup.
Perfectly demonstrated this morning when I was obviously we were all on our online network meeting, which was incidentally also being recorded. And then my daughter comes into the kitchen, announces she's going to be sick, and probably throws up in the downstairs toilet. So I'm like, on mute. put your smiley face on and go, "Is everything okay?" I'm hoping no one's noticing what's going on behind me.
Not a clue.
But it's these things happen. You can't control when stuff happens, and it's going to have an impact on your work life. And I think you have to just accept that. And for me, the balance there is acceptance that that's going to happen, and just try to be, just to adapt to it as best as you can. And I think people understand when things
Yeah.
tipping.
I think if you'd stepped away from the call, we would have understood.
Yeah.
Okay, because I just left her.
Not just shouting through smiley face. Are you okay?
Well, she's an older daughter now.
Yeah.
She's generally in control of these sorts of
Her bodily
functions.
So what other bad experiences have you had, when you kind of know, it's gone out of balance? I used to really, when I first started my business, and I'm guessing a lot of startups can relate to this, I used to think about my business 24/7. I used to wake up immediately thinking about what I was going to do today. And at weekends, even when I was with my family, I was always feeling like I'd never done enough. And I just couldn't think straight because I was just constantly thinking, I need to do this, I need to do that. What else can I be doing? I was just always on.
Definitely. I mean, I've been there, and sometimes I'm kind of conscious of it, and it's like, no, stop thinking about work, think something else. Think about football, and that distracts me long enough to forget for a moment. But yeah, I think it's that kind of the lines have been blurred a little bit by technology, the way things have changed.
Yeah, working from home.
If we think about, like older generations when they go off to work, do their work, come home, that's their life then.
Yeah, nobody
to the
could
pub,
contact them, could
yeah,
they?
that was it. You're one or the other. Unless you're like, exceptional circumstances, probably emergency services, whatever it might be. Or if it was the middle of the Second World War, it'd probably blur the lines between some work-life balance there. But generally speaking, you don't have any way of being disturbed. The work from home thing is obviously a biggie because as is obvious, it's really hard to get away from work when it's one of the rooms or the corner of your living room or the corner of your bedroom is your work area. So that's kind of like you're saying, Kate, it's easy to kind of do that work and be seen to be working. And when you're kind of at home, which you couldn't have done that years ago. Just wouldn't have been the thing.
No.
I'm just imagining like the first computers that are the size of a room, someone just dragging it in.
Yeah.
I just need to do a bit of work.
But of course, this is what everybody was worried about, weren't they, when the telephone was invented, when the computer was invented, that all of these things are going to impact on home life.
Yeah.
And of course, they were kind of right, weren't they?
They have, yeah.
They
but
were.
Work from home is definitely, I think, a biggie. I mean, I've got a part-time job now working for Amazon, but...
Good on you.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
collecting
thought?
parcels,
Yeah,
bringing them into
absolutely.
the
dropped one
house.
off the other day. It was really good. Yeah.
But fortunately, though, my wife buys so much from Amazon, they've let me work from home.
He's here all week.
Nice.
So what have you kind of learned in terms of, putting those boundaries in place with your phone, with the laptop, with working from homes? What are you doing differently now? Now we're all seasoned professionals. What were you doing differently to maintain the work-life balance?
I think it's got to be flexible. I think there's a line, but sometimes a client is like, I need, this bit of time. I don't have, 5:00, it goes off, lights go off, that is it, I am done. But if someone comes in at 5 to 5 and it's like, I know I can do this in 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, if it's a couple of hours and they don't need it right away, then okay, I'll do it tomorrow. That goes into tomorrow's to-do list. But if it's like, okay, I just need to extend this by half an hour. Okay, that's fine. It's allowing that flexibility. So you've still got the boundaries in place, but it's knowing how flexible those boundaries are. Like I say, generally I don't work weekends, but I have worked weekends.
But it's a choice.
Yeah, and it's always just, it's a one-off. Going down to a food festival, recording an episode for a client, did that on a Saturday. But I decided that was quite good because the actual recording would take up about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. On the plus side, I get to browse a food festival for a day. I mean,
And of course, you're working in the entertainment industry,
Yeah, yeah.
really, aren't you? So there is going to be, many times which is outside of the 9 to 5.
Yeah. And it's just, like I say, putting those... so the thing I have learnt to do is not check anything at night.
Yeah.
Because I would start to do that, check it, and I'd got an email at 7 o'clock in the evening, and then that would be in my head of, I've got to do that in the morning, I've got to do that. And a couple of times at 3 in the morning, I've thought, so I'll just get up and do it now.
Oh, it's crazy. And I do notice, I have very strict boundaries in place, but I break my own rules lots of times. And I'm breaking my own rules, checking emails when I know I shouldn't because I don't want to. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I'm stepping away.
It's too easy, isn't it? 'Cause it's just
It's
like
so easy.
Sometimes I think it's about having a choice, though, isn't it? Because and in a way, it's about caring less, in a sense, not to be careless or but it's like prioritizing things or applying a bit of reality to things. If something goes wrong, instead of panicking and being like, right, I've got to leave the restaurant, I've got to get home and do this thing because something suddenly happened. So actually, let's put this thing into context. What actually is the issue and how can we resolve it, and managing expectations. But when it's that kind of thing, I think of, you look at your emails on a Sunday or something, it's just having that element of, I choose to look at my emails. So I'm going to look at it because I want to just double check before tomorrow, make sure I can set my day up for the next day. Well, I've got a couple of minutes. I'm not really doing a lot.
But do you think sometimes we're choosing, like me, we're not really choosing. I'm not making, it's instincting. I'm not making a choice to check my emails on my phone. Before I know it, I'm checking my emails on my phone.
Yeah, well, what you need to do the simple thing is hide your email icon.
I haven't got one. I have to go through Google but I'm still doing it.
Because what I have at the weekend,
parental controls,
is I have a focus, which is you can do on the iPhones. I've set up different focuses, and my weekend focus doesn't show. It shows my personal emails, which is where you kind of get family stuff and things like that. But it doesn't show work emails. I have to turn off a thing. I'd have to turn off Google, and I have thought about it. To be fair, I've had a really good couple of months with not checking my emails on my phone at all until my laptop broke, and then I've kind of I've got to. But anyway, Kate, what about you? What are you doing differently to keep as much balance as you can?
Yeah, well, I can't do that whole stick your phone in a drawer at 5:30 kind of thing. And it doesn't bother me, like checking things, having a look at LinkedIn or having a little check on my emails in the evening. I'm quite comfortable in the murky soup. I'm fine with it. I quite like it.
It's about acceptance sometimes,
I just don't mind it as long as what used to stress me out the most is when I'd have a problem or something that was bothering me, and then I'd spend all of my free time worrying about it. And I think what I've managed to do to get around things like that happening is just having good processes and people to delegate things to. So it keeps them awake instead.
Not your problem. Not your problem at all.
NMP.
But what that's done is it's not like everything's weighing on me personally to deal with then. And when I'm checking my emails, it's just for fun. And if I'm on my LinkedIn, it's just because I'm enjoying getting
just for fun.
Just dipping it. Oh,
just checking my emails for fun.
Oh my God, I'm so rock and roll.
No, but it's good.
Who wants to hang out with me? Shall we just check our emails?
You've got it to the point where you don't have to.
Yeah, and that feels okay. And I'm not like someone who can live a really structured life. I don't kind of like that kind of black and whiteness. I like the idea of, I can have a look at my phone and check my emails and stuff, and then I'll reward myself with a slow start the next morning or something because I did a little bit the night before, and I quite like that. It feels like I like the fluidity of it, and I work better like that because I can also pick and choose when I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Like in an evening, I'm like, I'm going to have a glass of wine and I'm going to sit and do some accounts, and that's what I want to do tonight. And then that means tomorrow I'm free to do other things.
Yeah.
And I quite like that because I wake up there's a different Kate every morning that wakes up, and it's like, which Kate is it today? Right, maybe I'll use this Kate for this task.
Well, and also,
can be a little bit,
you can't do your accounts during the 9 to 5, I don't think, as a with a glass of wine, can you?
Not with a glass of
No,
wine.
that's a completely different thing you've got going on there. That would feel really weird.
Yeah.
So, you're making probably a less enjoyable experience more pleasurable.
Yeah.
Sorry, doing your accounts is enjoyable. What are you talking about? It's great fun.
It is with a bottle of wine.
Oh, yeah. Sounds great.
It's great fun.
I have to have a crack for mine.
I wasn't expecting that then.
As a business owner or leader, are you looking for some senior level support to help with your strategic thinking and growth plans, or just to bounce ideas off with the benefit of experience? If so, then reach out to Element 45 for a conversation. Founded by experienced regional business leaders Mark Taylor and Paul Faulkner, Element 45 works with a range of clients providing customized services to help businesses grow and navigate the current commercial landscape. To find out more and to contact us, please visit element45.co.uk.
So, what have you learned about yourself over the years, over the many, many years of running your business, about keeping your personal and professional life in balance?
I mean, for me, I just didn't want to answer first.
Too bad.
Yeah. For me, it is realising that I'm quite like Kate. I don't like the box. I don't like the restrictions. But in the same way that rules help the fun, barriers do help that kind of spontaneity of what can be work-life balance. Because I think all of us, to a certain degree, don't have the same day after day.
No, never.
And I love that. And I really think about people that work in jobs where it is, right, it's the same thing you're going to be doing for 8 hours and then you stop and you come back tomorrow. But I think, well, they've got a great work-life balance because they're doing this thing for 8 hours and then they're going home. So for 8 hours, having fun, sleeping for 8 hours, coming back in. But for me, it is, that realisation of I don't like having the barriers, but I know the necessity of them.
Yeah, you don't like them, but you know they're good for you.
They've got to be, a bit like salad. Salad is just ridiculous. There's no need for it in the world, but it does me quite good, and my blood sugar benefits from it.
I think what I've learned is about being more focused and productive with my time. So in the early days, I was probably doing a lot of thinking about stuff and not implementing or too scared to implement. But now I'm highly focused, highly productive with my time, and therefore at 5 o'clock or at the weekends I can completely shut off in the confident and knowledge that I've done all that I can this week, and it's been good quality work, both delivery and for my own business. So that's what I've learned, just about using my time much more effectively and being productive.
Can I just put a question out there? Because obviously what we're talking about in the main is putting these boxes around our work life. So 5 o'clock, phone goes off, that kind of thing. Don't check emails at the weekend. Are we good at doing it the other way? Are we good at not having life affecting our work life?
Ooh.
I mean, obviously, not quite having a daughter throwing up in the background of a Zoom call, but because you can't help that. But are we, when you're working from home, are you just working, or not just working from home, even if you're in the office? Do you still have that bit of life that's coming in? Is there still stuff that isn't purely work?
Not for me, no.
I can imagine that. I can imagine you are laser.
I am so strict when I'm in the office.
God.
I've got my personal to-do list, and I never do that personal to-do list in office time.
Oh, what?
Which I find, it frustrates me a little bit, because then it means, like, after 5, I've got to go on my laptop to deal with, like, booking stuff and what have you. But I just don't do it.
My goodness.
I know.
I'd love to like experience that world.
I know.
Just for 24 hours.
That
and see
ordered
what...
kind of,
Yeah. Over in Murky Soup Corner over here.
Yeah.
It's like...
I was in a meeting on Monday morning and booking theatre tickets. It just... Because they went on sale at 10. So it was like, right, I'm going to have to do both at the same time and nod my head for the meeting, book tickets.
Not your head. Paint your eyeballs onto your
Well,
eyelids.
just kind of, I think so. That's 2 in the stalls. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just interested that we're talking about it all being one way, but are we good at achieving the balance the other way?
I feel guilty if I'm doing like life stuff when I'm supposed to be doing work stuff. I say I feel guilty. Work Darren makes life Darren think, why are you lying down when you should be working?
But do you feel
Work
that guilt the other way? When you're
Life Darren isn't as strong as Work Darren.
Right.
So Work Darren does usually win. So, yeah.
I love it. Love it.
Both work and life, Claire, are very strict.
Funny. Strange. Never would have thought that.
Yeah. It's never come across. I've never picked that up from Claire at all.
Are you sure about that?
I'm just still picturing the two different Darrens having a fight on the driveway.
I'm just imagining
Work Darren like throttling life Darren.
Work Darren just wandering around the house at night.
Why are you sleeping?
Time to get up. No, not yet. Okay, fine.
Well, I feel like you're giving me lots to think about.
You see, it's not just the strict. It's philosophy as well.
Yeah.
Here.
It is. No, it's not until you say things out loud, though, or sometimes I say them out loud and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
I work,
Oh, yeah.
therefore I am Work Darren.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
So what are your challenges right now in terms of keeping a work-life balance? Because obviously, things are changing all the time, isn't it? Business goes quiet, business goes busy. And it's the same for your personal... Well, I say it's never the same for my personal life. My personal life is always very full. So I think that's why I have to be quite strict.
Yeah.
What challenges have you got right now with keeping it in balance?
I'm definitely, if I look back at the last 3 months, I definitely don't give enough time just for myself. And I think that's what that's where the balance misses, because I have to sort of split myself into all these different I've got probably even more Kates than Darren's got Darren's. And they're all having a big fight on the driveway, poking each other in the eyes and pulling their hair and stuff and scratching each other.
Fight. Cat fight on Kate's drive.
And they all take it in turns to win as well. But then because there's family stuff and there's so much admin to do around that and managing their kids and their house and all of that kind of stuff, and then there's all the work stuff, and I do find that personal time gets really squeezed. And so here we are in March. I'm just I don't think I've really done anything so far. That's just a treat for me. Although I'm going to the theatre tonight actually. That's the first thing.
What are you going to say?
But I did book that last year, so. So Live Kate, back at the end of 2024, managed to book a theatre ticket, so that's good.
Yeah. So what are you going to say?
We're going to watch Six.
Oh, it's
nice.
brilliant.
Is it?
Brilliant. Yeah, I've been twice. It's
I
awesome.
won't check my emails while I'm in
No,
there.
definitely not.
Although Work Kate will be trying to get in.
Did you book those tickets during a meeting? Or...
Might have
Personal
done.
time or professional time?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not going to reveal that.
The biggest challenge I think I have right now is helping other business owners see that they can have things in balance as well. And it's really about finding times for scheduling in when you can be productive or not, as the case may be. The only way I get so much stuff done, I've spent hours on me so far this year. Hours and hours doing stuff that I want to do. But the only way I do it is scheduling it in, like your theatre show. I have to. If it's not scheduled, it's not getting done.
Yeah, it's like, I think I might have mentioned this last time about like Deborah Mead, and she's like, I have my 3 non-negotiable horse riding sessions during the week. No one can touch me.
Well, the thing is, I think that, you know, because I think we all have things that we think that's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But I think there will always, there is the chance that they are negotiable. I think there's something in there. There's a potential client, there's a potential bit of business, there's a thing that could happen within your business, and that negotiation is gone. I think 90% of the time, maybe even 97% of the time, it is non-negotiable. But I don't think you can say that anything is absolutely non-negotiable on a recurring... I think a holiday, I'm going away for a couple of weeks, non-negotiable, I'm not working for those 2 weeks. But I think to say I have these 3 horse riding lessons or sessions every week and they are non-negotiable is like, I don't know how you do that. Because I bet she does not...
I wonder how true it is.
Yeah, because, well, I bet when she goes on holiday she doesn't do them.
No.
So they are negotiable.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean is you said it, Claire, is we choose to break there are rules, so we can break them.
Yes.
So it's good to have them in, but it's realising, and again, it's slightly philosophical, this, is realising that none of them are fixed in stone. They can all be shifted and moved.
It's having a plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
And following it to the best of your ability.
But
with
knowing
no
that plan can change.
Yeah. But with no plan, you've got no chance,
you're just
have you?
wandering around like a greased up idiot. I don't know why they're greased up.
Why?
I don't know why the idiot is greased up. I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is.
So what are your challenges, Darren?
Finding enough grease?
Yeah.
It probably helps when you're having the fight with the other Darren. If
Yeah,
you're greased up, they can't
definitely.
get a grip on you, can you? There we
Let's
go.
not put that picture in people's minds. But challenges are, I mean, you know, it's about not letting one affect the other as well, in the sense that, you know, sometimes work can wind me up and I don't want to then
Pass it on.
and and so spending the lifetimes, particularly with the kids and things, being impressionable, making sure that that's, you know, dedicated for them. There's my non-negotiable, you know, spend an hour or 2 a month with the kids, you know, looking after them and having some fun with them. So, yeah.
I wonder, I mean, really, your kids tell you the truth, don't they, of what they say. And I wonder what our children would say back to us in terms of, you know, whether we're good adverts for running a business.
Yeah, that's probably... let's not ask them.
No.
I don't think I am.
Okay.
I don't think I am. I think I do bring too much home. Because I did speak to my older daughter. She's doing A-levels now, and I was just like, oh, she's very, very creative. I was like, oh, maybe you could think about getting involved with the business. She was like, oh, no, it looks a bit stressful. I was like, oh.
Does it?
Oh, God, I need to work on my facial expressions when I come in.
So are jobs, aren't they? Jobs are stressful. If you're a high achiever and you're earning good money, then it's likely that you've got a job that you find stressful from time to time.
I don't feel as stressed now as I used to.
No.
Like when I was in the even murkier soup, before I learnt about processes and delegation and all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm generally
pretty together.
Well, I don't know. Do you agree? I sense doubt in the room.
The fact that you're questioning it so much, I think you're pretty together.
Yeah.
But of course, when we're at home, that's when we're most relaxed and that's when we're most honest, aren't we? I don't know what my kids would say. I think my little boy, who's 10 and perhaps a little bit more oblivious to the more serious things in life, he'd like, oh yeah, it looks great running a business. And perhaps my daughter would not think so much the same. She wants to do business studies GCSE. I'm seeing that as a positive.
Yeah.
That's a positive. So. What about your kids, Darren?
Well, my daughter's quite into, she wants to do psychology.
Oh.
So I think she's kind of seen us and thought, these
They
guys
need
need
help.
work.
Send her this way when she's finished.
Okay, let's talk about silver linings. What's all the good things about aiming to keep everything in as much work-life balance as possible?
As a business owner, one of the benefits is that you don't have to fill out those, holiday forms.
Yeah.
You just take the time off. You know. You can be like,
We get to decide the balance.
Yeah.
We can,
That's
we're
it,
in
isn't it?
control. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Well, the main reason I wanted to have my own business was because I didn't want to do like the 9 to 5, which is ironic because that's what I do now. And
But the 9 to 5 in a job isn't actually 9 to 5, is it? That's what it says on the job description.
Yeah, but I think
when
it's just
worked,
literally being there at 9 o'clock, which I couldn't quite
no.
handle. And going to an office, which I'd rather. I wanted to work from home, so I did that. And now, obviously, ironically, I work from an office. And but it's my choice.
Yes, that's it, isn't it? It's
I'm in
choice.
control.
See, for me, we're always a work in progress, aren't we? And your business is always evolving. Your personal life is always changing as kids grow older and, parents getting older and all that sort of stuff. So it's a constant just, adapting the way you do things. And that's what I love about it, that it's just like if there's a bad situation or you've got it a bit out of kilter, your work-life balance, that's okay, because next week or next month it's going to change again. Everything's so short-term, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And as long as you can see what plan you're going to put in place, then you can, like we say, we're in control of it all. We can change whatever we want.
Yeah, what you said.
So, in summary, does a good work-life balance, as a business owner, does it exist?
I think it can, but I think it's accepting that it won't always.
Okay.
I think it's, as we've said, it's planning for it, but appreciating that plan could change.
Yeah.
And you just need to be flexible enough to change with it. Or not. Or be like, no, my horse riding session is immovable. Keep your £1 million deals. It is that kind of, it can exist. But, for all of us at the moment, it's not existing. But by next month, it may well exist again.
Or even tomorrow, or by the end of the week, it's changing. Yeah, for me, it absolutely can exist. You've just got to do the work to put the plans in place to get a really good work-life balance, and whatever that looks like for you is right. You've just got to be able to, I always kind of think of myself on my deathbed. Would I have any regrets about how I've worked or how I've been as a parent or, whatever that looks like for me? And if I can sit there and say, no regrets, then it's all been in good balance.
I think on my deathbed, I'll probably still have some emails I need to answer. Just 1 second, Grim Reaper.
I'm just going
to send.
Just putting a quote out.
I think I've said before, I was answering a coaching inquiry when I was giving birth.
Oh my goodness, Claire! What?
It was 15 years ago.
Doesn't
Talk
matter.
about work-life balance.
Well, that's how I said when I first started my business. It was really bad. My work-life balance was bad, but I've got it under control.
I was going to say,
You're going to be in labour for like 2 or 3 working days.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've got stuff to do. Do you know what I mean?
I think I said I've answered and I've responded to an email on Boxing Day. I've done that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember doing that. Yeah, that was not good.
So, Kate, can a good work-life balance exist?
I don't think 100%. I don't think you could ever get it absolutely perfect. Well, I don't think I will ever get it absolutely perfect. But I feel like fairly content that what I've got works for me at the moment.
Brilliant.
And that's is that perfect? I don't know. It
works for you.
Yeah. I could probably do things better, but I feel like, I can come home and I have an evening where I haven't got work to do unless I choose to do it.
Yeah.
And that's nice. And I've got a family at home, and if they need me, and I have had to do this recently, going, right, I'll clear my diary today, I'll cancel meetings, and I'll come and spend some time with you because I can do that. And, so it works, and that's one of the main reasons I think I went into business in the very first place, was like I wanted that flexibility to be the master of my own destiny each day that I wake up, which is a blessing and a curse, in equal measures, isn't it? But I think that if you can make it work for you, however that looks like, then you're winning.
Okay, you always manage to finish off on a really great line.
I don't know where it comes from, honestly.
It's perfection, and as always, we've given a very different viewpoint, haven't we, on what work-life balance looks for us and what good looks like. So great work, guys. So for our lovely listeners, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.